So right at the beginning of the Torah, one of the first verses, the Torah tells us, and God created light. The Lord said, let there be light, and there was light. And then it continues. The Lord saw this light is good. And he separated between the light and the darkness. And as the Medrash explains, that what really happened is God saw this light is so good, it's so special, it's too good for the sinners. They're not worthy of this light. So he separated it aside. What it really means is he put it away in hiding, and it's only available to the righteous people and for the world when the Mashiach comes at the end of time. Because the sinners don't deserve to use it, he hid it away. It's a curious thing, though. Why create something that you're going to hide? If he didn't want to give that light, he shouldn't make it to begin with. God doesn't sort of, figure things out as he's going. He made the light, and he said, they don't deserve it. Let's put it away for later. That doesn't make any sense. So if he's going to put it away, why did he create it to begin with? The other thing that's curious that the Rabbi comments on is the language is interesting. God saw the light is good. Why the repetition? Why doesn't it just say God saw that it was good? Throughout the entire 6 days of creation, after every project that God completed, he said, the Lord saw it's good. He doesn't say what that it is, because obviously it's referring to the creation of that particular day. So on day 3, for example, God made vegetation, and God saw that it's good. On day 4, he made the sun, the moon, the stars, and the planets. God saw that it's good. He doesn't have to delineate what the it is. We just mentioned it 1 or 2 verses prior. However, the exception to that rule is when it comes to the creation of light, the Torah says, God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light was good. Why that repetition? The other thing that's curious, that at the end of every project, as mentioned, God looks back, sits back, and takes a look at what he did and said, you know what? It's good. Like, is he giving himself a compliment? Did he have a difficult childhood? Is there nobody else around to give him a pat in the back? Did he have to pat his own back? And what did he think? It's going to be not good? If God makes something, obviously it's going to be good. Last time I checked, good is God's middle name. But after every day's creation, after virtually every project that he created, he sort of sat back and his God said, it's good. The Lord saw that it's good. Was this news to him? Like, it's so curious. So the Rebbe has it in a beautiful way. What does it mean that something is good? Did you ever ask yourself that question? Did you have a good day? Did you have a good vacation? Do you have a good marriage? Do you eat good? Do you live a good life? What does it mean, good? Many people will answer the shallow answer, well, if it feels good, it's good. But we know that's not true. I could sit all day on the couch and, binge on reruns and potato chips. It might, for a short while, be relaxing and enjoyable. It's not really good. Occasionally maybe you need a break, a mental break from reality. But that's not good to be spending my days and nights sitting around eating potato chips. Conversely, I might have a hard day at work where I put in all my effort and energy and I come home exhausted and sweated and drained, and it was good. What about an extreme example? I go through a very serious surgery. It's not fun, takes a lot of prep, and etc., medical, diet, you name it, not comfortable, but you bet it's good. So what defines goodness? The Torah is telling us here, you want to know what goodness is? The light is good. The Lord saw the light, that it's good. What that means is, the light means when you can see the purpose of a thing, of life, of everything. When it's dark, you live in a world, but you don't know what it's about. When it's light, this represents, I could see what's going on. I understand why things are here. Purpose equals light. So if I want to know if this was a good day, if this is a good relationship, if this is a good business venture, if this is a good book to read, yada, yada, yada. Find out if that particular activity or exercise or relationship is fulfilling the purpose for which it was created, and for which I was created. If the answer is yes, it's probably good. If the answer is no, it's probably not so good. So this is an important message right at the outset. The first creation that God created, if you will, was light. Translation, the first thing that God infused into the world is the ability for the world to recognize its purpose. What is its purpose? To serve God, to make him a home in this lowest world. The Rabbi Tachtonim in the Hasidic lingo. God created a light, created the ability for purpose to be obvious. Hence the double language. God saw the light is good. Translation, if you can see purpose, if you can see meaning and fulfillment, it's a good thing. And God decided, I'm going to hide that light. It's not worthy, I'm quoting the Medrash, for the sinners to use that light. What it really means is it will take away free choice and there will be no sinners. If every human being on the planet sees the purpose of life, of course they're going to behave in the right way. And that would take away the whole purpose of our mission, our service, which is by free choice to find the right way. There would be no free choice. We'd be like living in heaven. We can see the light. We can see the purpose. We can see the goodness in living the good life. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. The design is there is no light. And we don't see purpose with the naked eye, and we have to make the right choices. We have to look into the Torah, we have to study, we have to meditate, we have to pray, we have to struggle with our inner decisions and demons or what have you. That's the purpose. And therefore, that light had to be hidden away. But then, every other day of creation, when God finished the project, the language is the Lord saw that it's good. You know what that means? He actually saw that in spite of the fact that he hid the light was still there. In spite of the fact that he set it up in a fashion that the world and creation should not be able to see the purpose visible for the naked eye, because that would take away the potential of sin, would take away the free choice. So that light was hidden. The goodness was hidden away. But guess what? Wouldn't you know it? When God created the creations of day 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, he took a step back and he said, you know what? It still looks pretty good. I still see purpose in it. That hiding didn't really work. But yes, it did. What does that mean? You see, what God did is he embedded into the beginning of creation its purpose, so that the world should have a purpose. Its very creation was predicated on that purpose. Hence, on the first day, he did put that light here. He didn't just create the world without the light. Absent the light, there is no purpose. So God created the world, and the first creation was that light. The world's very fabric of its existence from day one is a sense of its purpose. However, God hid it, that in an obvious way, it's not readily available for us to see so that we have the free choice. However, he hid it well enough that we can't discover it. So the purpose was in there in the beginning. Yes, he hid it, but it's embedded in the fabric of creation enough to empower us for the process. And hence, like God himself, if each of us take a good look at our lives and a good look at creation, we can see that it's good. We can really find its purpose, maybe not so readily, easily as it was on the first day of creation, because that light was hidden, but we can find it. When we take a close look, we see that things happen for a reason and that there's a mission and a purpose for our lives. What a fantastic thought from the Rabbi. It looks like a dark world. It looks like it's aimless. It was created from day one with a mission and a purpose, and that purpose is embedded in it. And although it's not visible for the naked eye, by design, but when we take a good look, and often we take a look with our mind's eye, we'll find mission and purpose in everything that we do, and especially in living in line with the Torah. So this is a great story to go with that. So a colleague of mine is Rabbi Yisrael Wilhelm, who together with his wife direct the Chabad at a university in Boulder, Colorado. And he tells the story that every year after the holidays of Simchas Torah, he and his wife would try to get away for a couple of days. Just change the scenery. There's so much work with Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, Sukkot, Simchas Torah. The students are coming and going. It's a full-time, 24/7 job. They need always this mental break of a couple of days to get away. And they have this annual thing, and they have the same hotel that they always take in the Colorado Rockies, which is familiar to them. It's nice, it's wonderful, it's a beautiful scenery, not such a long ride from where they live. And that was the plan. But as it turned out, that right after the holidays, he got a phone call. There was a funeral scheduled for the next day, so the whole thing was postponed. And rather than having a 2-3 day break, maybe I'll have a day and a half. But what are you going to do? He takes care of the funeral, takes care of the Shiva minyan, and they can look for a place to go. Lo and behold, the hotel that they usually go to is not available. There was some kind of a hot air balloon festival, what have you. All the hotels nearby were full to capacity, including the one that they were used to. So he starts looking. He really feels they really need to get away. And they find some no-name hotel, an hour in the other direction. They're going now mittendrin in a no man's land. But they don't care. They just got to get away. They get in the car. They start driving. They take some basic essentials. But then when they get there, they realize they didn't pack any food. They figured, whatever, there's a supermarket. But in that place, that, mittendrin place where they ended up, there wasn't even a supermarket. Not a kosher one, not even a mainstream one where you can try to find, a bag of Pringles. Nothing. They settle into the hotel, but you got to eat. So they find out that a half hour in the other direction, there's a place called Idaho Springs, and there's a Safeway. And they figure, all right, this vacation is turning into more of a burden than a vacation. Because remember, it started a day and a half late. The whole thing is a couple of days. They couldn't find the familiar, comfortable place because it was sold out. They're in this no-name place, which, there's no kosher food, and they have to travel another half hour to find a Safeway in Idaho Springs. And a Safeway is not exactly, a kosher supermarket, but they're not going to complain. They're happy that they're together and they have a chance to get some downtime, even if it's very short. They get to the Safeway. They're going through the aisles looking for something kosher when his phone goes off. Now, when he goes away, you see, he's a dedicated shaliach, and he doesn't really go away because when the phone rings in the office, it'll ring on his phone. So he answers the phone from the aisle at the supermarket and says, hello, Chabad of Colorado, what have you, Boulder. And a woman says, my name is Stephanie. You don't know me, and this is a very strange question. But I've been calling all the Chabads in Colorado, and I'm just wondering, very strange question. Would you happen to know where I can get a hold of a pair of tefillin for use in this place called Idaho Springs? Idaho Springs is like it's verhooked. It's not exactly the Jewish community. He says, Idaho Springs? You're looking for tefillin in Idaho Springs? Yeah, I'm in Idaho Springs, and I have tefillin. You're in Idaho Springs? Oh, like where are you? Well, I'm in the Safeway. She says, oh, that's fantastic. I'm in the parking lot of the Safeway. Why do you need tefillin? She says, it's a long story. My boyfriend is with me, and after October 7th, he made his resolution never to miss tefillin. Today, we set out for this long trip. He forgot to take his tefillin. And now, for the last 2 hours, he's hocking me. He's not going to miss the day. I told him, forget it. No big deal. You do it tomorrow. But he's hocking. He's not missing his day. So I said, I got to help my boyfriend. So you know what? I started to call. Maybe somebody has a tefillin. Wouldn't you know it? They walk outside, and right there in the parking lot, they meet. They wrap the tefillin. And the long and short of it is, what he thought was really a mess, when he thought plans were ruined, the hotels were booked, food wasn't available, Hashem was really orchestrating everything exactly perfectly, and there was a real purpose in that whole thing. And in truth, that's really the story of our lives, although we don't always see it. And as we begin the Torah anew with Bereishist, the first statement that's made is, on the first day, God made one and only thing, light. This is not the sunlight. That was made on day 4. God embedded into the creation the purpose for its existence, that we should all be able to see plainly that Hashem is here and it's all about Him and our mission to connect with Him and make this world a home for Him. He then hid that away for us to have to find it on our own. But when we look and when we follow the program, we find it. And wherever we turn, even after a difficult challenge in life or a difficult day, we take a look and we say, you know what? This is pretty good.